Find yourself a booth, order up a cold one. This is the Spring Bar.
Hey everybody, welcome to Spring Bar. Glad to have you here. I am Florida Mike today with my co-host Joe, and you'll see Joey. How's it going?
Man, it's going, man. Summer is hit. Yesterday was Father's Day. Had a beautiful day out in the sun and the fun. Got
Yeah.
out the pools. So
Huh.
there was the kiddie pool,
Okay.
and then there was the adult pool,
All right.
which there is something to be said about sitting on your lawn, waist deep in tepid water, drinking with your neighbors. So
Okay.
I'm a fan, just for the record.
All right. Noted.
Noted.
Next time I come out there, there
We'll,
better
we'll
be a
we'll bust out a kiddie pool for you.
pool full of water.
I can make that happen. I got a hose.
All right.
I'll pour you a drink. It'll be great.
I mean, you're coming out here. I can say you're coming out here next month.
I am.
I
I
have a
am.
much bigger pool.
Okay.
We can drink in it.
Perfect. There.
All right.
That's the important part. Will there be
Yeah.
gators in the pool?
I mean, I could probably arrange that if you'd like.
I'm okay with not having to deal with that personally.
No.
Uh,
I was on the back of a 7'4" gator today.
I was on the back of a 7'4" gator today. Okay.
Mhm.
Allow me a moment to unpack that.
Please.
because like most of the time if I hear, oh, I was riding the gator, I'm thinking of the green John Deere
Oh, yeah. The
tractor type
six-wheeler
deal,
thing. Yeah.
right? That's a gator. So that's the gator I'm familiar with, and they might be 7 feet long. So, but I
Could
don't.
be.
I assume you're not speaking of such.
No. I
All
I
right. All
I
right.
am. Mine was chock full of teeth,
Yes.
4 legs,
Yes.
and so very much in the moment wanted to eat me.
Okay. So I want to because my experience with gators has been at the zoo.
So I think we need to go back just a little bit further.
Okay.
And for those that really don't know, I am legitimately an alligator wrestler. It's
Legitimately
it's
paid.
it's part of what I do for work. Yes.
He is
So
compensated as a
now back to today. Okay.
head gator. Okay, so 7'4" gator. I am 6'2", 6'3" on a tall day. So we've
Hmm.
got 12 inches more than me
Yes.
in your gator.
Hmm.
How much of the gator is head?
Uh,
2.5 feet
he was probably at least 2 foot, if not a little more. Yeah. I mean,
of
he
the head.
was
Okay, so we're looking at like about that much head.
maybe a little less, maybe 2 foot ahead. Yeah.
Okay,
About that. Yeah.
okay, so it's 2 feet ahead, and then
Yeah.
what? 3 feet of body, and then 5 feet of tail.
No, the tail and the body are pretty equal length.
Okay.
But his tail, the the roundness of his tail was about that of a basketball. I mean, he was fat. He was every bit of 200, 225
Okay.
when we had to lift him up,
Okay.
throw him back in the truck. I mean,
All right. So was that duct taping the or electrical taping the muzzle?
so you taped him off. That's the very first thing that you do.
Right.
You don't want to wait till the end for that one.
Well, because they've got bite power, but they don't have the ability to open, and so
Yes.
that's the secret.
So, and just if you've seen, gator shows or whatever on TV, you get on the back of them. The first thing you do is you start at the eyes and you push down on the head and you work your way towards the end of the snout. But like you said, they don't have a real strong ability to open. So you're pushing, you're keeping that pressure down. When you get to the end of the snout, you reach around underneath and you grab them and you're lifting them back. Because once you get their head back, they pretty much lose all ability to do anything at that point. They lose much of their strength.
Huh. Look,
So once I
educational.
get them
Like
back,
you thought the dive bezel stuff was fascinating. This is the content people have been looking for.
yeah, well, see, little did we know.
Gator
But yeah,
Wrestling 101.
once I get his head back, then I got another guy who comes in and holds the snout so that I can tape him up, and then we get his legs back, his front legs, and tape him up, and his back legs and tape him up, and something like that. We probably should have had like the zip tie restraints, like the zip tie handcuff type things.
Right.
Because the electrical tape alone, if and he put up a fight, like he was not a happy camper. He very well could get out of those if he wanted to. So we probably should have had some extra restraints on him too, but it got the job done. We did fine everything.
And
yeah, I got all my fingers and toes, so everything went
where
A-okay.
did he go? Where was he located to or relocated to?
That size, the state comes and takes them, and I think he said he had somebody who wanted to purchase a large one for breeding purposes. So that one will probably go. And
so he left you and went off to stud.
That's the story that I was told today.
Okay. So just so I understand this process, that if I'm lucky enough and I am trespassing on company grounds, you will wrestle me down. I'm about 220. And just 12 inches shorter. So you will wrestle me down, tape me up, and then send me off to stud.
I feel like that's a job for your wife, but I could if you wanted me to.
Visit.
See what you're missing?
Yeah, we have that. We have that problem here in California.
You never knew how much fun Florida could be.
I've only seen it in pictures.
Yep.
Just wait.
Yeah. Oh goodness. So on to the watch content.
Watch content. What do you got? No, you go, because I got nothing new.
You got nothing new. What are you wearing? What do you got on the wrist?
Okay, I'm wearing the Accutron snorkel, the blue bezel.
Oh, the blue one. Yeah, I like that one.
It's really, really nice. The blue on the bezel just pops, and also because it's a new old stock bezel.
That's the NOS one.
Yeah. That I bought for those Bolivas that we didn't realize were a different size.
That you bought for the mechanical version, different size,
right?
But it fits on that one there.
So this, I bought the bezel. The bezel was just kind of sitting there because I got it and pulled it out and held it over the watch. And I'm like, there shouldn't be this kind of slop, and it's about 2 millimeters too large.
Huh.
So for whatever reason, they went with the case shape is similar. The dial layout is similar. The handset is similar. The bezel is similar, but it's,
But you know what, though? That happens across so many different watches, right? So when I was doing your Jetstar for you, that essentially was supposed to be a parts bin special, right?
Right.
I was mix and matching the different years and things, and you can't because 72 and 73, one's a Swiss-made case, one's a Japan-made case.
Yeah, and as soon as you change case manufacturers, it changes everything.
Everything is different between the two. They look identical if you hold them up side to side, but when you get into the movement holders on the inside of the case is different. The crowns are different. The tubes are different. The crystals are different. Everything is different.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's such a funny thing because you look at it, it's like, okay, well, or make this, and they show them a picture, and I go, okay, cool, and just sketch it out, and then they got to machine it, and they got to do all the rest of it, and that's where things just start to fall apart. Because we saw that with those the Canadian 666, right? Because I sent you all 4 of those, and they weren't the same as the one that you sent me.
Most of them there was one that was different, but in fairness, that was an EPSA case.
It was an EPSA case. Yeah.
So I feel like was a completely different manufacturing process altogether.
It could be, but it was the same shape. Like the dimensions were almost identical.
Yeah.
On the exterior.
But we were just talking about the Sea Devils.
Yeah,
You have the Swiss and you have the West German version, and they look
yeah.
identical. I guarantee you they are completely different in every way.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. I mean, well, the
Yeah.
thing that's really funny because like the movement, the 218 movement that's in this Accutron, it's just like the diameter is a little bit bigger than a mechanical,
Hmm.
just for the way that the base of the main plate is set up. So those watches, like incredibly thin, really, really light, but they get weird.
Yeah.
So I got that on the wrist, and I need more beverage in the glass.
Well, what beverage is it? What did you just finish?
Oh, Coke and whiskey.
Oh, ugh, tastes like my 20s.
Doesn't taste like yes. What was I drinking yesterday?
I don't know. Even to this
What
day,
wasn't I
if I,
drinking yesterday?
that's probably the shorter list.
Eh.
To this day, if I smell Jack and Coke, it makes my stomach turn.
Oh, I have that with Jose Cuervo.
You guys don't have a good relationship, huh?
No, no, I'm
Uh,
I'm not a, I'm just not a big tequila fan. So
I'm sure.
anyway,
All right.
what do you got? Your turn.
I don't think we talked about this one yet. This might also be a new watch on the show.
It
This is
is.
my new Super Seville.
It is.
This is my 2024 Super Seville re-edition, reissue, re-release, whatever you want to call it. I love this thing.
It's a square watch. Let's talk about that a little bit. Talk about
Yeah,
that
this is
architecture.
the Super Seville Square, not your traditional round date just Super Seville that everybody thinks of when you say Super Seville. But this is the
Well, let's be honest.
just as
When you think of Super Seville, you're thinking of Rolex. You're thinking of the Bulova Rolex copy, right?
I like to think that it's Bulova's own design and their own story.
It's not.
I mean, I know it's not.
It's not. I've got two of them. I love them. Don't get me wrong. Like, because I've got a blue dial date just, and then I've got that white dial president.
Which you
And
have to bring with when you come down. I want to see that one in person.
okay,
I want to see that one for sure.
cool. Yeah, I'll see what I can do.
But yeah, essentially it's the fluted bezel date just. And in some cases it's the day date. You
Right.
can get, it's got the day on the top around the 12 o'clock outer edge of the dial, or you can do just the date. So, and that's what it is. So this is the square version of that. It's the same exact thing, squared off case.
Which
Integrated bracelet.
nobody else has ever done though. It's not. There's not another version of that. There's not anybody. So it's much more of an original design. It's much more an
Mhm.
original execution. And to be honest, it's pretty awesome.
I have
I've been a
always
fan.
liked the square version a little bit better than the normal Super Seville
100%. I agree with you.
because it was different.
Uh-huh.
So these came in a couple of different iterations. The originals, the ones from the 70s, late 70s too, by the way. And
Yeah.
and that's the era of the Super Seville was late 70s, early 80s. That was the production of these. A lot of people think they're early 70s, and they're really not.
No, much later.
Um, so the squares you could get with the date at 3, the day at the 12, and it has the Cyclops over the 3 o'clock with the fluted bezel. You could get a day date where they're your traditional day date,
At
one right
three.
next to the other at the 3.
Oh,
Those had a uh, flat bezel, like a non-fluted bezel.
really? I don't think I've seen
Mhm.
one of those.
Yeah,
Huh.
and then I think you could get a date only, and I forget which bezel version that came
I
in.
would bet that was fluted. That's my bet. I bet that's a fluted
I
vessel.
think it was a fluted date only,
I would agree with
and
that.
and that one, from the best of my recollections, now I'm trying to think because I did a whole review video on this and I did all kinds of research in that. That one didn't say Super Seville on it like the other version did. the day date at the 3 also, I don't believe, says Super Seville
On the dial.
on the dial.
So some of those, this is where it gets interesting because some of those have what superlatively certified chronometer on the dial as well. It'll say Bulova with the tuning fork logo at 12.
Yeah,
And
but I
then
question though
I question those too.
the Super Seville is highly, highly susceptible to the Mumbai special.
Well, you say the Mumbai special, but I think we're really speaking about the Indonesian special. But I digress because the one that I've got. So I've got the two. I'm not sure where the president came from, but my blue dial date I've sourced that from Korea. So
and see, that one doesn't say Super
market.
Seville on it.
It doesn't.
And
it doesn't.
The one
I
that
didn't
I
know
have,
that it was.
the Quartz one that I got doesn't say Super Seville. And then some say Super Seville Quartz. And then mine just says Bulova Quartz, doesn't say Super Seville.
Right.
But I mean, it very clearly is. So it's very weird.
So
very weird.
Does the new one say Super Seville on the back?
Yeah, it says Super Seville on the case back. It doesn't have it on the dial, but it is etched on the case back. So it's acknowledged as such.
Yeah. Well,
which is cool. It's just, yeah.
I don't want to get too deep into the weeds on this one because hopefully in the future we're going to have a guest on who will be able to explain that whole process. And that'd be golden. TJ, we're talking to you.
The muse behind the Super Seville.
Let's hope that we can get him to carve out some time in his schedule to come and talk to us about that, because it's a cool story. It's a really cool story. So we'll reveal that at a later date. But yeah, I think so. That watch. All right, talk about that one, because if you haven't seen Mike's review, you need to go back and watch Mike's review because it's really well done, and I'm a little bit jealous considering that I did a 3-watch review of the Surveyors and it wasn't nearly as good.
At the time of this coming out, so if you're listening to this, on a Monday, Tuesday, I did the review for this about a week ago. And it's been very well received so far. It's done quite well. But I'm surprised at how large this actually wears. It's a 37.5 millimeter case.
Side to side.
42.2 lug to lug.
Right.
If you put this next to a 40 millimeter watch, they almost look identical. Like the squared off case and the way that the bezel sits right on the edges, it's a lot of dial, and
that's always the thing about the square watch, though, because square watches always wear large.
But it sits so well. I mean, the dimensions of the case itself makes it sit so well on the wrist.
Sure,
but it looks so much larger than what it is.
So when you look at it, when you think about it, if you're trying to put it into some sort of perspective, it's like if that's a 37 millimeter watch, what we would consider normally. So it's okay, 30. We'll call it 38 round, which for a lot of people is kind of a sweet spot. Particularly, we're looking at the shrinking of watches, because watches were small. They were a women's jewelry piece, and then it became a men's piece. And so, you look at stuff from the 20s, all of the Art Deco stuff. Most of the time, you find those as being listed as women's watches. No, that's a man's watch. That's really a man's watch.
Before we go any further, because I feel like we're going to continue on with the conversation, I'm drinking Sam Adams Cherry Wheat. It's the seasonal beer that they have right now, so that's what's in the glass.
Cherry wheat. You're drinking
cherry wheat.
You're drinking a wheat beer in June?
Why not?
Okay.
It's delicious.
Is it a Florida thing?
No, I don't think so.
Do I need to prepare myself for that?
Only if you want one.
Okay.
If not, there's plenty of other places I can take you to.
Okay.
But it's good. This is a beer that you want to drink ice cold. Like some crafts you want to have at, a slightly warmer temperature for flavor in that. This is a good ice cold beer. That's what it is.
I want all my beer ice cold. And even when I go to England and they say they like warm beer, the warm beer is still about 60 degrees because that's room temperature in most pubs. I like cold beer. I don't like warm beer. I will drink warm champagne. So anyway.
Anyways, back to
Art
it.
Deco watches were very small, and the square cases always wear in a different thing. Like you and I have had the argument about reversos and tanks,
Hmm.
about what size you would like, and we can get into this a little bit later because Bulova dropped another tank style watch that
So
you
quietly too.
no announcement
Nobody knew
whatsoever.
about it.
But I think for me that watch would wear too large. I wouldn't wear it because I like that
Really?
classically sized. Oh yeah, too big.
No, I don't think
I had
so.
one that was similar that I wouldn't put on
Because
because it
what did I
wore.
say it was? 29? It was
Yeah,
29 millimeter.
yeah. I still think
Yeah.
it's for a square watch. It's going to be too big because all of a sudden, because you've got that angle, right? That 90-degree thing, and that little bit of extra up at the top. It makes it feel much larger than it actually is. And not to say that 29 millimeter is large. However, in a square watch, it wears much bigger and it changes the way that the whole thing comes
You
across.
know, I'll have to pull out my Academy Award and
Uh-huh.
see what that measures
Side by
and then
side.
compare. I'll have to see.
Do so because like I
Yeah.
think your Academy Award. I don't think I've seen that other than you like you showing me pictures. I don't think I've seen that in the metal.
Did I
But I
and I
think that
bring that one
that
up
one's.
with me?
I don't think you did.
I guess not. No.
I think that one's bigger than my Brigadier. And
I would say yes.
yeah, I think it is. I think it is. And the Brigadier to me is like if you want to talk classically sized men's dress watch, you can't beat that. I love that watch, which puts me at the original Cartier tank and the original JLC Reverso. And I'm fine with the classic sizes for those. I would wear those.
Okay.
I would rock the shit out of that. JLC
I mean,
Reverso,
I wouldn't kick it out of bed either.
no way. No
No.
way.
I'd
Cartier tank.
prefer I'd prefer a larger version, but that's just me.
Well, I mean, that's the thing because JLC's got the couple different sizes, but for me, it's that small because I went to one of the JLC ADs and I went there and I took a look and I'm like, yep,
We.
no, I went before you. I
Oh,
spent it
well,
out.
we went together and
We
we
did go
looked.
we did go together, but
Yeah.
I don't think we tried much on. Like
No.
I got to handle stuff at that one. I'm like, and I got to figure out, I was like, yep, the classic size. That's what I want. The ultimate fidget spinner.
That's one way to look at it, I guess. Uh, but and here's the thing: what shocked me the most is the Dan Henry skin diver that I have. That's 37 millimeters, and that's your traditional round case with a bezel. The dial is a lot smaller on that.
Okay,
So,
hang on, because
okay,
you have just picked up a bunch of extra skin divers recently. Okay, so the Dan Henry is that orange one with the black bezel, right?
what other skin divers did I pick up
You
recently?
got the Zodiac, and then you got that yellow thing.
The yellow thing.
You don't have a yellow thing. What else? What else did you just pick up recently?
I didn't.
Damn it, Mike!
I bought my other new watch that I'll talk in a minute, but that's not a skin diver.
I think you're wrong.
No. And the Zodiac, that's not a skin diver. That's large. That's a 42 millimeter.
It's big, but it's skin diver. It's a skin diver.
I wouldn't call it a skin diver.
Of course you wouldn't.
Are
Why?
you
Why?
looking in my pictures?
I'm gonna go find it.
The
You didn't
yellow
get
thing.
you didn't get something. Am I wrong? I'm wrong.
Yeah.
We must have been talking about it. Holy crap, I'm wrong.
I didn't.
I've got you confused for somebody else. Wow. Okay. Well,
How,
I stand corrected. You don't have
how
a
dare
yellow.
you, Joe? I don't have a yellow thing. No.
That was like a Jenny or something. But okay.
Oh, I got the Helson. But
See?
that's not a skin diver either. That is a giant chunky watch.
What the hell is that? Wait, I don't even
It's orange, not yellow.
there. Okay, yes. Right, the Helson. Thank you.
With the dive table bezel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that too.
That one's 40 millimeters, but that's a tall boy. That's
How
thick.
tall? 13?
At least I'd have to measure it because the case is thick, the bezel is fairly
Why?
decent sized, but then it has a very domed crystal on top. So that adds to
So
it
is it
too.
like the mill ships?
Yes.
The same kind of dimensions? Yeah, because the mill ships
Yeah.
is a big chunky beast.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I like it though because it's 40 and it wears nice. The lugs aren't real long on it, so it fits real good. And I don't mind a chunky dive watch. So
No, well, I've got no issue with it either.
yeah.
Well,
But
that's
the
the thing.
Zodiac, that's not a skin diver either. That's
Well, it's quartz. What's the depth rating on it?
what does that have to do with anything?
It has a lot to do with it because real dive watches are not quartz.
That is not true.
Really.
You can get a quartz. So Doxa made watches for Aqualung that were labeled Aqualung. What were they? They were an Aqualung Doxa. They were quartz.
Uh-huh. Okay.
You're gonna tell me a Doxa is not a dive watch?
Skin diver. I said it.
Okay. All
But
right.
you make an interesting point though, because I have that EPSA cased, the single crown Bulova
Yeah.
super compressor.
Uh-huh.
And that's
That is a skin diver.
except that it's got it's a 666 case. It's the super compressor case back. So it's not a skin diver. It looks like one. This is before even skin diving was a thing, or at least they were
Okay.
designing
All
watches
right.
for it. But
Skin diver dimensions.
it definitely skin diver dimensions, but the
Okay.
lugs on that are so long. Like the case itself, I want to say that the lugs on that are probably like 47, 48.
But a lot of them were back then.
Yeah.
Look at
Yeah.
the Zodiac the Super Seawolves now, the ones that they make. Those have real long skinny lugs.
Yeah. It's not a bad look, but the problem for a lot of those watches is like depending upon the size of your wrist. Man,
Yeah.
because if you've got a small wrist and all of a sudden, you have
Then
the
long skinny lugs don't wrap around very
they
well.
don't
Yeah.
wrap around and you put like a tropic strap on that, and all of a sudden you're looking at that ugly.
It's coming straight down.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not a good look on a tropic for that. It's like at that point,
And
you
I
put
will
NATO.
be perfectly honest with you. When we went into Feldmar, I went crazy over the Zodiac Seawolves that were in the case there.
Yeah,
I would love to own one. However, I am afraid that I will not like the way that it wears.
we didn't
And
try
that
one on,
is,
did we?
we didn't get to try one on,
Yeah.
no. But that is probably the number one reason why I haven't bought one yet. Because I'm just afraid of how it's going to wear. I'm afraid to get it. I'm afraid
You
of
know
those
what
lugs.
though? I
That
mean,
it's not going to
honestly,
sit
okay,
well.
okay, but hang on. You throw one of those on a fitted beads of rice, not some sort of flat link,
But you
but
can
like
get them. You can get them with
yeah,
beads of rice.
you need it on, that on a beads of rice. I don't think it's going to matter at that point. I think you'll be just fine. I get what
Think
you're saying.
so?
I don't like that tipped up.
And I don't know anybody who has one that I can put one on and see. That's the problem. I don't know any.
Yeah.
I do know somebody, but he lives far enough away, that we just
Right.
don't ever meet up. But
You're not. Yeah, he's not going to send you it through the mail. Although maybe you ask nicely.
maybe, I guess.
You could try. You could. Well, I had somebody send me a pole router,
Yeah, but we knew them.
well, yeah, we know them, but still, right? Sent me the pole router and lost my mill ships because I put the wrong address on.
Well, I feel like that's a you problem.
It is. It was totally a me problem, and luckily he was nice enough with his neighbors that he walked around. And was like, "Hey, do you like? Oh, here.
Yeah, that's funny.
We miss you, JP."
So, yes, Jay, and he does come around every once in a while. I do see him active.
Yeah,
Definitely not. I'm guessing he's busy with the twins. So
I got to think the twins are taking up a little bit of time. Father's Day was double duty. Can
yeah.
you imagine getting 2 ties?
Hey, I got 2 slippers, a left one and a right one.
Well, that's nice. A match set.
I know, right?
Look at you.
That was really nice of her. Splurged for both of them.
It was buy one get one free. It was a BOGO sale.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And that was not the, traditional corny Father's Day present. I actually asked for some slippers because I needed some. And slippers is one of those things where I just won't buy for myself. So it worked out.
I got some slippers for Father's Day. I wear them to this day. They're fantastic. I'm a fan.
The last pair I had, I think I've been wearing for the last 3 years now. So it's been time for some new ones.
Ooh, see, there's your problem. Like I think I got my slippers like 5 years ago.
Oh,
I got good slippers.
I guess. I don't know. But I wear mine constantly, all the time.
It's a weekend morning ritual for me. But
Yeah.
anyway.
Anyways,
All right.
I do have another new watch.
Ooh, do you?
This, if you remember, was the controversial watch from last episode that we discussed.
Okay. Do it. Oh, damn it. Yeah.
I'm holding up the 1972 Bulova Spinnaker.
Yeah.
So,
Discuss.
okay. I put it on a very nice, very close to the original band. It's a white
Except
leather. It doesn't have the orange strap down the sides.
so the watch itself is
But
off-centered with
hold
an
on.
orange.
But and this camera, is not the best.
Right.
That
It's
is a
got
Bulova buckle.
you put a Bulova buckle on it. But
So it's a
here's the
Bulova
deal.
buckle.
Here's the deal. Like the strap matched up with the dial. And the dial, it's what, a quarter orange, maybe
It's
vertically.
about,
It's not quite
yeah.
a third.
So it takes up a third of the dial, but the stripe itself is maybe 25% of the dial, and there's a little bit of white next to that at the 3 o'clock. Right?
Right. Right.
Look at, and you can see what I mean. It's hard
Yeah.
to
Because
explain.
it's a day date. It's what, 11 AOACB?
So yes, it's a day date. It's the exact width of the day date window.
Okay. Okay. So here's the deal with that watch. There are three iterations of that. There's the orange one, there's the white and orange, white and green, and then black and orange.
Black and orange.
And they all came with straps that match the colored part of the dial. So
Correct.
like the black one, black and orange, had a mostly black strap with an orange stripe down the edge. And it's a tapered strap too.
Mm-hmm.
Green.
Which
It
this
is
one is.
no. In terms of your strap choice, you did very well missing the orange part of it, which, let's face it, that makes the watch. That's what makes the watch. I will fight you on this. We will come to blows. I'm coming to Florida. I will come to Florida and kick your ass.
Do you remember the conversation we had at the beginning of the show, Joe?
Yeah, you wrestle gators, but right,
I will tie
you won't
you
be
up.
able to take my you won't be able to take my jaw shut.
That's true. The strap, if you can get one with the strap, you've done very well.
You've done surprisingly, because those straps were also, they were not high quality in my opinion.
Not. They were very thin. They cracked, and they aged terribly.
Yes, they
Terribly.
did. Yes.
Yeah.
Is there a water resistance on that? Does it
Uh,
even say?
well, let me look and see. I don't even know, to be honest with you. It says automatic, Bulova Spinnaker. Does not say water resistant. It says stainless steel.
Huh.
Bulova stainless steel N2 and a serial number.
I mean, you got to think that with the nautical reference of the Spinnaker, that you would think that there would be some kind of.
You would think, right? And I guess to a certain degree there is. I mean, these cases were all gasketed. The crowns had gaskets in them. So, I mean, there's some sort, but to what degree, I don't know. 30 meters?
Who knows? Who knows?
Standard,
I mean, this
I don't know.
Who can say? And this is
Well,
right
it was
after
the
they had to
70s.
change it from saying waterproof.
So here's the thing. There were two iterations of this watch. The first one came out in what, 69? I think it was.
Right.
And that was more of a cushion shaped.
The dial was different too.
the dial was different. It didn't. So this one has the stripe, and then it has on the left side of the 12 o'clock a bunch of additional like fingers that are coming out in
Yeah.
orange.
It's not quite a sunray dial, but it's close.
Well, it's not a sunray dial at all. I mean, it's just
Well,
the
no,
way
but
that they
the way
painted the
that
dial.
the way that the markers work.
Yeah. So the original version didn't have any of the additional coloring. It just had the one offset stripe, and that was it.
Right.
So some will argue that this is the more desirable model because it has the extra bits of color on it.
It's a more traditional case. It's not the cushion case shape.
The more traditional case, yeah.
I do like that cushion case though. I really do like that watch. Not enough to buy one. Definitely not to buy one at what you want to sell that sucker at.
But as we have discussed with other people,
Yeah.
I'm asking $750 for it. At that price, it's a good price, even without the strap. Because even without the strap, these things are at $1,250, $1,500 and up. I mean, people are asking stupid money for them. They're not going to get $1,900 for it. But I've seen these things sell for well north of $1,000 without the strap.
I'm sorry. I think that is the Caravel Sea Hunter of the Bulova world.
And it very well may be.
It very well may be, which means
we don't understand why the Sea Hunter is expensive as it is.
It is a $300 watch that people are selling for $1,500. Screw you.
But it's a $300 watch that people are spending $1,500 on.
Yeah, and they're wrong.
That's why I'm selling it for half price. Get yourself a deal. It's a bargain at $750.
It's a bargain at $750. Oh,
right?
You sell that at $750 before I get there. I'm buying you drinks. I'm on record. We will celebrate that. I won't even make you spend money.
If you're listening to the show and you want Joe to buy me alcohol,
it's going to cost you $750.
If you want to just prove him, if you want to stick it to him, DM me. We'll work this out. $750. I'll even send it to your door.
Free shipping.
Free shipping. Yep.
Insured. Look at you. Magnanimous to a fault. All right. Let's get into the meat of our, now that we're halfway done.
Which is what? We don't even know what the meat of the potatoes is.
Okay, I wanted to talk about color. I want to talk about color and color choices.
Okay.
So you picked up the green Super Seville.
Mm-hmm.
And we have had a discussion, like the pistachio green.
And in fairness, I picked up the green Zodiac as well.
You did. And it's a lime green. So there's this idea, and when I was reviewing the Surveyors, the deep green that they had there was also my personal favorite. The pistachio was great as soon as you got it onto the bracelet.
So let's back up a little bit.
Uh-huh.
When we did, it was either the last episode of last year or the first episode of this year, we did our 2024 uneducated picks.
Right.
And one of which was the color of the year. Do you remember what we went with? Did we talk about?
We talked about green. We talked about the pistachio because
Bulova had just kind of being the color of the year.
Bulova had just come out with that Surveyor. And the pistachio green on that, in person, it's really good. The pictures don't do it justice, but as good as that is, it has to be on the bracelet. I think that they put that on the strap. That was a mistake.
I'll agree with you on that one.
On the bracelet, that watch just pops, man. It's so good. But
I think the bracelet brightens up that dial. It does.
Yeah, it's a 100% difference. However, the dark green Surveyor, and it's so dark green that when I first opened it up in my bedroom, I thought it was a black dial. It was, it's a deep, like pine green, not even British racing green. It's an alpine green almost. It's an amazing color. If you get the chance to see one in person, I suggest you check it out, because green is one of those colors that when you have this discussion about like what is the most versatile, blue always comes up. The blue dial, a blue dialed watch, like a deep blue dial, a dark blue dial, a navy blue, sunburst, a metallic. Those watches all, because it'll go with black, it'll go with brown, it'll go with a navy blue, it'll go with a light blue. You can wear that with just about anything. And so the date just Super Seville I have has this sort of, it's a sunburst deep blue, and I can wear that with any suit that I own. I can wear that with my tux and it looks great, you know. But I think that the green, if you get a dark enough green, it's just as versatile. And I would be willing to bet that the watch that you've got on will go with any formal occasion that you want. Like that's a black tie ready watch.
I'll agree with you. It's, and I haven't seen the Surveyor in person, but based on the photos, the Super Seville green is definitely not that green.
Right. I think it's a
would
lighter
say
green.
it's lighter than that. It's darker than the pistachio.
Mm.
I would say the British Racing Green is a pretty good way to describe what it is.
But it's also a sunburst, right?
No, it's a linen dial.
So it's a like vertical,
It's a
brush.
vertical, yeah. It's a vertically
Oh, is it
brushed. It's a linen
really?
dial. It's not a sunburst per se,
That's wonderful.
but it does allow when the sun hits it, that is when this dial comes to life. It really
Yeah.
does. Not that it's bad in any other light, but it's not to the point where it looks black. It looks darker. You can still tell that it's green, but when you get into a brighter light, when you get into that natural light, that vertical brushed linen dial, whatever you want to call it, just grabs it, and it makes it so deep of a color. It's fantastic.
And so
And
like
I would love to see the blue dial in person to see what that does.
Yeah. Yeah. The blue's good too.
And I think the blue will be the fan favorite because it's a blue and a stainless.
I get it. But that's the thing, because the Surveyor was released, the blue is only in Europe. It's in Europe, and there's a black dial as well, which I am eyeing deeply. And if I can pick one of those up, I'll be that. Ooh, that's a good watch.
Is the black dial a sunburst?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
I can tell you the black dial Jetstar.
Yeah. Right.
That's a sunburst dial as well.
It's good.
The sunburst black, that's a beautiful thing.
It's good. It really
is.
But this is so this was something I was thinking about, because they did not do a Jetstar in green. And with the Surveyor dial as good as it is, with that new Super Seville dial as good as it is, like it's kind of a dumb idea to not do a Jetstar in green. So, Michael, if you're listening, we think that maybe a Jetstar in green might be okay. You want to throw a Spring Bar logo on the case back, that'd be just fine. Just saying. Orange also wouldn't be bad. But
I don't know.
But green would sell. Green would sell. It's so good though.
But here's the thing. If you want a green Jetstar, go buy the Surveyor. Because it's basically the same thing. That's the mechanical version of the Jetstar. If we're being it's not identical, but it's very close.
I would argue that is like, if you want a green Jetstar, go buy the Super Seville, because it's the same movement. It's a precisionist movement. The case shape isn't going to be the same, but
a very, very different look. Very different look.
I'll agree. I'll agree with that. But I don't think that it's out of place. I like that watch. I like that watch a lot. I'm looking forward to seeing it in person, because I think that
and there's
being able to handle it.
There's a lot to like about it. And you know what else I really like about it? It's only 10.5 millimeters thick.
It's tiny, dude.
Yeah. And that's to the top of the crystal.
Yeah.
The case itself, I mean, it sits so well. It sits so well.
Yeah. Oh, 100%, man. And that's the thing too. Like, square watches wear differently than round watches because they don't slide in quite the same way. You've got a little bit more architecture up at the top, that flatness up at the top where the lugs hit. Like, this watch is excellent because it's a tonneau shaped case. And so it's real flat up at the top, which means that it doesn't ride up over my wrist bone in quite the same way. This watch wears really flat. And there's other watches that I have that, all of a sudden I find them, they're way off center and they don't wear quite as well, even though I like the watch very much. So I think that is a very elegant dress piece. I think that it works in just about any other situation. And that if you're looking for a watch that can do anything, you're real close with that one. Is it a go anywhere, do anything watch?
It would be if it was a little more water resistant.
There you go. Okay.
This only has 30 meters water resistant, which is fine for what it is because it's not a sports watch. It's not an adventure watch, right? You're not going to wear this
could
one
go to
when
the
you go
beach in it.
swimming.
You could definitely
Yeah.
do the dishes in it.
It's going to handle your day-to-day, what you come in contact with water, just fine.
Right.
Aside from that, yes, you can wear this with I'm wearing a pair of gym shorts and a t-shirt.
Well, yeah, but
And I'm
you're
wearing this.
also in that post gator wrestling, bliss. So
But it really goes with anything. And you really can wear this with a suit. You can wear it with a tux. You can wear it lounging around the house. It's so versatile. And that's what I said in my review. Like, if you're looking for that one grab and go watch,
yeah,
this is going to be a strong contender for that.
I don't think you're wrong. I think that is, in terms of what it is from a choice standpoint, you did massively well. And that watch is going to be able to hit lots of different markers for you. So and then on top of that,
well, on top of that, you got the gold version.
You got the gold version, but
the dress one.
You said in your review that if they did that with a gold dial, it would be a knockout of the park. I don't disagree. However, I know
what you're going to say. I know what you're going to say.
I will see your gold and I will raise you a black dial.
That also would be fantastic. I just don't, and this is just me personally, and there are people out there who love a two-tone watch. I'm not a big two-tone fan. The silver dial, for me, it just doesn't work with the gold case and the gold markers and the gold hands.
Well, but that's because
and maybe
there's a reason for that,
maybe in person it might hit differently.
No.
I don't know. I don't think for me that it will. For me, if it was a different color, I would have bought the gold version hands down because a Super Seville in gold, they look fantastic.
If it would have been the blue dial in the gold case, that would have been good too. But
that wouldn't have done it for me either.
No, gold and blue.
Oh, yeah.
Go Bruins.
Michigan. Black or a gold tone dial.
Black and gold. Black and gold, because that's Long Beach State colors, man. I'm all over that. But
okay.
Go Beach. 49ers. Oh, no, sorry, we're the Sharks now because woke. Whole different discussion. DM me, I'll tell you all about it. My point though, like if they would a blue dial with the gold would have been excellent. I think that the black dial with gold would have been, man, that would have been a knockout of the park.
Well,
because there's something to be said though. There's something to be said about the elegance of a gold case with a black dial, the austereness of a black dial, the functionality of a black dial, because that's the military watch. But now
here's what you can do. Here's what you can do. Buy the gold version. Buy the blue version. Flip-flop the dials. You now have a gold watch with a blue dial and a stainless watch with a silver dial, which I believe would also look really good.
Probably.
That would be right in line with the one that you've got.
It would. It certainly would. Yeah. I don't disagree.
A stainless with a silver dial?
It'd be all right.
The problem with that is, I just thought of it, it's got gold indices and gold hands
markers.
And gold markers and that.
But,
so you'd have to flip-flop the hands. Right?
Well, now you're complicating.
Yeah, maybe. You'd come close.
You should have all the parts available. That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
So
But here's the thing.
Okay.
I don't think these are the only three that we're going to see. I personally
I
believe,
agree with that 100%.
based on what they do with a lot of the other watches in the past,
A red dial of that would be good.
a
Red dial
red
would be
dial
good
in a
too.
stainless case, I think would be good. There's so many different colors that would look great. Like a light blue would look great.
Oh, well, okay. So that's the classic. That is the classic look for that watch. They did like a sky blue or like a robin's egg blue, but it was a
And they've
sunburst.
done so many different iterations, for the
Yeah,
original ones. I can see them. I mean, they opened the door for so many different versions of this watch.
yeah.
They really did. I mean, you can throw a box of crayons at it and you'd come up
A
with a
box of
winner.
what?
Crayons,
Crayons.
crayons,
Crayons. CRANS. Crayons. Like berries. Cranberries. Cran.
crayons,
Thank you.
crayons. Do you wash your hands too, Joe?
No, I wash them.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay.
I'm not from Chicago, sir.
Well,
But
I am.
I will say that the Chicago hot dog superior to the New York hot dog.
Oh, by far. Is there
Hands
even
down.
a question?
There is not. There's not.
There's not, no.
Okay.
You want a Chicago dog? We got Portillo's here now. I'll go get you a Chicago. We can get you a Maxwell Street Polish, whatever you want.
I got a place up the street. I'm good.
Okay. All right.
I'm not coming to Florida for hot dogs, Mike.
I know. You told me you want to eat gator.
I want to eat gator. And if you catch it,
I've
it'll be even
got
better. I'll fry it up.
I've got a place to go. You want good gator? There's one place that has the best gator I've ever had. And we will go there.
Okay. To be honest, and I mean this truthfully, and there's no disparaging. This is not a slam. I would not know good gator from bad gator because I have
Well,
not had gator. So any gator I've had will be the best gator I will have had. Now, you
not
say
true, not true, not true.
okay.
Because if you have bad gator and you eat it and you're like, this is, I don't really want to have it again. That's bad gator. I want you to have the experience of you eat it and you're like, wow, I can't wait to have more.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you
That's the
that
difference
this was
between good
great.
gator and bad gator. I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in. Leave you wanting more? Sign me up.
And it's all in the way that it's cooked. Generally speaking, gator comes across as very chewy. And 80% of the time, if you go to a place that serves gator, that's how you're going to get it. The place that I like to go to, it is not chewy. The breading is just right. And when you get gator nuggets, the sauce that you pair it with is what also brings the flavor of the gator out. They have a great sauce. Now, you can get gator cooked like fish. You can get it blackened, you can get it Cajun, you can get it, however, you put it on a sandwich or tacos and things like that. But for fried gator nuggets, this place is a 10 out of 10.
Okay.
And the rest of their seafood offerings are fantastic too.
I'm in. I'm in.
Yeah.
You had
made
me
two
at gator. You had me at
requests.
gator nuggets.
You made two requests. You wanted gator and you wanted a good Cuban.
I do want a good Cubano.
I'm trying to find a good Cuban.
Okay.
There was a food truck that made some of the best Cubans I've ever had. However, where they used to frequent, they don't anymore, and I don't remember the name of the food truck to be able to track them down. That's a problem.
Sounds like a problem for you.
Yeah, but I have some time. I have about a month or so.
Got about a month
to figure something out.
Okay,
I'll figure it out for you.
I may not know the difference, so it'll be fine.
Have you never had a Cuban?
I have, but
okay.
I also make them, so and I know the recipe.
There's a place in town here that I went, and they had a Cuban sandwich and they had a brisket sandwich. And I asked a girl, I said, "What do you recommend?" She goes, "Today, get the brisket." She goes, "The girl that makes the good Cubans isn't here today." So I ordered one. The person I was with ordered another. We actually shared. The brisket sandwich was phenomenal, but the Cuban was subpar.
See,
It
but
was still
here's
good. It was still good, but it just wasn't quite there.
this is the issue. This issue. I have opinions about brisket, so be careful.
This was good. It was
I got
good.
opinions. I got opinions. They're well founded. They're deep.
I'm not arguing it.
Okay.
I've eaten your cooking before.
You have. You've been here.
Yep.
Just saying. Okay.
Not arguing it. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. We got off topic.
We did.
What were we talking about?
Well, it's lunchtime for me. So what are you gonna do?
Oh, well, I guess it's almost dinner time for me.
Well, I'll see. The time difference. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
All right. So, is there any takeaway from any of this?
The takeaway is we were correct in our prediction. Can you imagine that? We kind of, sort of, maybe know what we're talking about.
Is that a 101? We haven't done that before. I don't think we've been right before.
I don't like the way this feels.
It's weird.
Feel itchy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Histamine reaction. Take a Benadryl.
I need to drink some more beer.
There it is. That'll help those histamines right out.
Speaking of beer,
yes.
Since this show is just one giant off-topic show, as it seems, with a sprinklings of watch content in it. So I've been talking about it for a little while. So as you're listening to this, I am currently moving
down the street.
Down the street. As we record this, I'm a week away.
Okay.
Where I'm going to, I get a larger living room, which is nice.
Yes.
Then I started thinking, what do I do with all the extra space? I bought a larger TV. I have a giant couch already.
Yeah.
And I'm still going to have roughly, I don't know, an extra 5-6 foot in length in my living room.
So wait, you're going to ask our viewers if you should buy a bar? That's what you're going for?
No, I'm not asking.
You're asking our viewers if you should buy a bar because
I am not asking. No.
Okay.
I am saying
you're going to buy a bar?
I have picked out a bar.
Putting the bar in Spring Bar.
I believe it will fit perfectly exactly where I want to put it.
Okay. But let's talk for a second because this this is my backdrop, and you can see that I have my bourbon selection here.
Yes.
And then I have my bar is open at 5 and it's the 5 o'clock clock, which is bull of a sign, by the way. Just point that out. However, I want to point out that this is damn it.
Yes.
This is my wine cellar.
Yeah, I see that.
Right. And it's a lovely selection.
Uh-huh.
But that's the booze. Wait. Oh, I'll move it.
Other way. There you go.
I got all the booze over here. Right.
Okay.
And the cigars, because you can't have one without the other.
Okay.
So my point, there I am. My point being that, like, you've been watching my bar since we started doing this. Mike has moved around a little bit, but you have been observing my bar, and now Mike wants to put his bar into the picture. I'm just saying, step into the 90s, man.
Into the 90s. But this is it'll be an L-shaped bar. It'll have the full foot bar at the bottom, bar stools. Back in a previous life, when I lived in Chicago, I used to build bars out of glass block. You know what glass block is?
I do.
Okay. So in Chicago, where you can have basements, is very, very common thing to have windows made out of glass block, bars made out of glass block, partition walls out of showers, bathroom, all kinds of stuff was made out of glass block. My thought is, because the way that this is, you have the majority of the height of the bar, and then there's I think it's like a 6-inch gap, and then you have the bar top.
Okay.
So I'm thinking putting, some glass block, lining it in there, and then backlighting it real nice.
Okay.
And where it's going to go, there's actually a cutout in the wall itself that has some glass shelves. So it'll kind of come off of that. So I'll have some decorative shelves on the side of it. I can put some of the new Bulova,
There you
the
go.
Ask for, posters
Yeah,
behind there. Like, I
that'll be
think
good.
it could look real nice, and that would take place of everything that you see behind me now.
Well, it's not a bad look.
We'll see how it goes. Maybe if I can do it, it will be a slightly expensive endeavor.
Do you want me
So
to bring you some empty bottles that you can fill up with different
if you
colored?
want to buy oh my gosh, this would be so perfect. If you want to buy a Bulva Spinnaker for $750,
to fund
I'll
the
tell you
spring
what.
bar.
I'll tell you what. Right here. Tell me you heard it on this show. $695. This is yours. Shipped
Oh,
to your door.
you prove my point.
Not
There it is.
not
Done.
only will this fund the bar, Joe will stock it when he comes down here.
No. I'll send you some empty bottles that you can fill up with colored water. I've got that much. I'm there for you. That's as far as I go, though. All right, we got a last call.
Well, hold on.
What?
$695. $695.
Spinnaker
buys the bar.
Yeah.
And you supply 2 bottles of liquor.
Me?
Yeah.
It's 2 bottles of liquor of my choice.
That's fine.
Okay. You like alert?
Pinky, are you pinky swearing?
I pinky swear. Okay. I'm on that. I'm there.
So if somebody buys this watch before Joe comes in roughly 4 weeks.
for $695.
For $695.
I'm buying Mike a bottle of Campari and Malort to go into the spring bar.
The spring bar.
The bar spring bar.
And there's even a bull of a clock. It's a wall clock, comes down, it's an arrow. It says we install and service hangovers.
Yes.
That's what it is.
That's
and
me.
It's even lit up too. It has the round bulb.
God, I love that. How can you not love that? Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I need one. I can't put it in my classroom, but
look at it's only $96 right now.
$96.
Yeah. Metal sign with a clock, Bulva signed. The description is well lit in every sense. Literally what it says. Oh gosh.
That's good. That's good.
Fantastic. Yeah. All right.
So now you got a last call.
No, not really.
All right. I do.
Oh.
So I went to a collector.
I do have a last call. Go ahead.
Oh, never mind.
Go ahead.
No, please, sir. Yeah, I called you first.
Okay. So my daughter got her first car.
What did she get?
A Honda CRV.
Not bad. You could do worse. It is not a Toyota Camry, but
no, it's a Honda CRV. Thing will last forever.
As will the Toyota Camry.
Yeah.
It's in that class of vehicle.
Yeah. It's perfect for her. She wanted an SUV. It's not too large. It's, as she describes it, cozy.
She won't be able to get into a lot of trouble with it.
Yeah.
Little trouble, not a lot.
Yeah. Okay. This actually, it's pretty cool. So we bought it for her. The next day, I was watching some YouTube, just like, well, what did they say about it, back when it was new kind of thing. The guy was going around doing the presentation. He opens up the back door, which is like barn door style. It's not your typical SUV hatch.
Right.
Opens it up, lifts the included WeatherTech rubber liner, Honda stamped, right? Real nice. Underneath, he pulls out a Honda issued folding table.
Okay.
With a little hole in the center you can put an umbrella in.
Nice.
It is like the ultimate tailgate vehicle.
Well, there is a Range Rover that comes with its own set of crystal and a matching set of shotguns and a basket of, I think it's Delft China. But
while there is that,
okay,
not quite the price point in which I purchased her CRV.
Well, used. I mean, used. You can get one, but okay. But I
Still,
digress.
still, still not in the
Okay,
same price point.
fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
But for a kid who wants to go to the beach with her friends, come on, that's pretty cool.
You're all right. You're all right. I think she would have been better
Yeah.
off with the VW Beetle, but I'm old.
Sure. Well, anyways, the point of this is the car has a CD player and a cassette player. Now,
Nice.
kid has never seen a CD in her life.
No idea what any of that is. That's fantastic.
Knows what a CD is. Her mother went and bought her a Bob Marley CD. That is all she listens to, right?
Legend? Is it Bob Marley Legend? Come on, tell me it's Legend.
No, it's like a greatest hit CD.
Ah, okay.
So she starts the car up, pulls out the case, this plastic, CD
Right.
case,
Jewel case.
pulls the CD out, puts it in the CD player. She's all excited. She's like, "Oh, look at my CD player, works great." Blah, blah. She's playing the music. We're getting in. We get home. She ejects the CD out, opens the case, puts it back in, closes it up, puts it into a little cubby. I'm like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "Well, I got to keep it safe." I said, "Well, it's going to be just as safe in the CD player." I said, "Then the next time you start the car, the music plays."
Safer.
She's like, "No, no, no. What happens if it gets lost in there?" I'm like, "It's not going to go far, right?" So
Where's it gonna go?
yesterday, we go out to get ice cream after our dinner. Come home, she does the same thing, takes it out of the CD player, puts it in the case. Bless her soul. I love this child to no end, right? She is my baby girl, extremely smart and knowledgeable about everything except for how a CD works.
Wow, that's awesome.
Because I told her, I said, I said, if you keep doing that and taking it out and putting it in the case and taking it out of the case and putting the thing, I said, one day you will learn what it is like to have a CD that is scratched.
There it is.
Cannot make this up. She looks at the top of the CD and says, "Well, it doesn't look scratched to me," and puts it back in the case.
Oh, the youth. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. I got to bring you some CDs.
It is not a record, sweetheart.
I will bring you some CDs. I will bring you some CDs. We're going to have fun with this. That's great. That's great.
Oh my gosh. A 16-year-old interacting with 80s and 90s technology is fantastic.
I love it. That is wonderful. That is really wonderful. All right.
Oh my gosh. Yep. Okay.
My last call.
Yep.
My last call. I went to a collective horology event.
Oh, yeah, you did.
In Hollywood. So it's actually right near when you and I went up to see the Walk of Fame and see the stars on Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
From where we parked, it was basically across the street.
We parked by Capitol Records.
Right by there. I had to get buzzed in. I had no idea how to get into the damn room. I had to walk through. I had to walk through the valet parking because I parked on the street. I walked through the valet parking. Like, oh,
like one of those
yes,
speakeasies where you got to have the secret password to get in.
I had to knock special and then show 4 forms of ID and give a blood test, and they read my horoscope. But it was a big deal. But up in the, it was so special. I had to get buzzed in, and then they had to buzz me up in the elevator. And like the lady came in and she put her little card by the thing on the elevator, but it didn't take, and so I couldn't get up, and I had to go back and ask and she had to do it again. Go up to the floor, and then got to wander through the labyrinth to find the space. So I got to see Zeitwinkel, Resonance, Habring. Who else? A couple others.
You were there.
I was there. I knew. I can't remember. Oh, Garrick, and one more. Trilobe.
Okay.
And it was fantastic because the Habring watches are so good, man.
You really like those.
I do really like those because it is a classic execution. It is a very, very classic watch, but it has been kind of upscaled just a little bit, and they've done some really outstanding things there. Oh shoot, there was one more.
I'm
One more that
I'm
was also
trying to I'm
yeah.
trying to pull
You're
up
looking for it. You're looking for it. I
the
don't remember.
pictures that you sent me here. But, oh yeah, here they are. Here's the Peck watches.
Oh, Zapek. Oh my God, Zapek. So that one that looks like the
No,
ripple.
it's Peck.
If you say so, I'm not going to argue that. Those guys. So they had the adventuring dial, which was the
Mm-hmm.
glass, not the stone.
Oh, hold on.
And a chronograph. Man,
that was really loud.
that was so cool. But they've got this one that looks like ripples, and it's enamel that's been done in multiple layers, and they throw another layer over the top. That watch, man, Speak Marin. Peter Speak Marin was there, and the Speak Marin stuff was also incredibly cool.
Marin, yeah,
because like it's micro rotor, but the way that the architecture works, you can see through the micro rotor. It was so cool. It was absolutely astounding. I was very impressed. And it was all about micro brands and assessing and being a part of getting micro brands off the ground. It was really neat, and it was an open bar. So
well, that's really why you went.
Not a whole lot to miss out on. So it was an excellent event. It was very well run. It was a lot of fun, and I saw some people that I knew because OC Chrono got an early entry. We got to come in at 11. Everybody else, like the opening was at noon. So we got early entry. I got to hang out with some people that I knew, and then I got to meet some other people that I hadn't met before.
Last thing before we let everybody go. When you do come out, it's not the LA scene as far as watches go. We don't have cool meetups. I can probably have some guys come over and we can hang out at my new bar that you're going to stock.
There we go.
But I wish we had stuff like that here, and we just don't. This, for whatever reason, like Miami's the place to go for that kind of stuff. But the Orlando area, we just don't have something like that.
It doesn't seem to be the case. It's like Northern Florida, Central Florida, Orlando area just seems to be lacking in a lot of that extra. Miami's got the Art Basel, and they got a couple other things that are going on, but you seem to be missing out for whatever reason. How do we get in touch, Mike?
Well, this evening, you and I, we make up the Spring Bar Podcast. You can find us on Instagram at the Spring Bar Podcast. You can email us, springbarpodcast@gmail.com. On a personal level, I am a very hungry 120 clicks, all spelled out, one long word, 120 clicks. Joe?
I'm Watch Taylor Youth, not nearly as hungry. One long word. And nobody has come up with another better handle for me, by the way.
Just thought about that. We didn't get any comments about that.
Nothing, no information, nobody.
Man.
Very disappointed.
Very disappointed.
Very disappointed. So.
Oh well, I guess we'll just have to do it ourselves.
Suffer along in silence.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Sir. Well, until the next time we ask you to change our names and nobody cares to make any suggestions.
Me and my empty glass say thanks.
Cheers.
Cheers.